United States Republican candidate Mitt Romney appears to have handed President Barack Obama a pre-election gift following another major gaffe. At a $50,000 a head fundraiser, Romney dismissed Obama's supporters, 47% of voters, as people dependent on the government who believe they're entitled to healthcare, food and housing. Professor Robert Patman is here to tell us the likely effect of the latest controversy. Good evening, Professor Patman.
Good evening, Rebecca.
Now, this story has broken relatively recently. What is at the heart of it? Well,
as you indicated in your opening remarks, Mr Romney gave a speech to just about half a dozen very wealthy backers, a $50,000 a plate dinner. He clearly didn't realise that his presentation to the gathering was being video recorded secretly. And in the speech, he made two massive errors. Certainly in retrospect, they turned out to be errors. First of all, he told his audience, as you indicated in your opening remarks, that about 40% of the American people are, if you like, government-dependent slackers. And they don't pay any tax, and they depend on the government for care and protection. They have a sort of entitlement mentality. The second thing he indicated in his speech was that was on the foreign policy front. He said he couldn't understand or he couldn't support the idea of a two-state solution because the Palestinians clearly do not want peace with Israel. And of course, that both of these comments have caused a firestorm of criticism. The American media have been very hard on Mr Romney for making these remarks, and conservatives in the Republican movement, such as William Crystal, who's a senior conservative, condemn Mr Romney's comments as arrogant and stupid. And it certainly seems to have upset Romney's campaign, and he faces a big job to refocus his campaign and concentrate on the issues that matter, including the economy, which he hoped would be a strength for him in the campaign.
Now, the comments point to what many New Zealanders would think are more radical conservative views of the world. Are those views more common in the US?
Possibly slightly more common. In New Zealand terms, the sort of views he was articulating would sit comfortably with a party like ACT, who we see more at the sort of extreme end of the right-wing spectrum. And I think certainly Mr Romney's comments may have gone down well with a relatively narrow group of neoconservatives within the Republican Party. But it's also, by the reaction in the American media and the Republicans generally, it's clear his comments have infuriated the centrists within the Republicans, and also offended a lot of people in the centre of American politics. They see these comments as out of touch and also ill-informed.
It's not the only gaffe that he's made so far during his campaign, is it?
No. You begin to think he may be one of these Americans who shouldn't leave America, although you might also say, in light of what he's just said, that he probably shouldn't say it in America either. But when he went he went in July, he went overseas. And amongst the things he did there was he upset the British government by indicating that they weren't really prepared to host the Olympics, and the British government wasn't particularly happy, pleased that its greatest ally, a politician from its greatest ally, had made those comments. So that went down badly. And he also referred to the leader. He seemed to forget the leader of the Labour Party's name and referred to him as Mr Leader. Now that's relatively small. The Labour Party officials laughed that off, but he does seem to be a bit accident-prone, which I think has come as a surprise to many people, given his impressive business record.
Obama has responded to the latest gaffe, hasn't he?
He has indeed. He appeared on the David Letterman programme and said that one thing you learn when you are president is that you represent, or you aspire to be president, you must represent all the people, not just the people who vote for you, which was a bit of a dig at the fact that Mr Romney is a wealthy candidate who won't really be representing the broad mass of American people. He'll be representing just the wealthy. I mean, this is a constant thrust that the Obama people have made, and of course what they've done is capitalise, as you'd expect, to say, they're subliminally saying to the American people, told you so. This is what he's up to. He's there just to represent that narrow elite of millionaires. This is the group that he represents.
Professor Robert Patman from the University of Otago, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.